Dentures proudly presents the skills that pay the bills. Austin, No Doubt Trout.
Thank you, Morgan Freeman. Oh, I tell you what, I had to pick some cool music for one of the coolest men I've ever met, not just in this business, but in life. The incomparable Austin, No Doubt Trout. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey,
I tell you what,
you.
boy, it is our pleasure entirely, sir. And I could not do this without the counsel of my very dear friend in Las Vegas, Nevada right now, covering Canelo versus Jaime Munguia, and that's Big JR Bell. JR, how you doing, sir?
Hey, man, doing all good here for fight week, and glad to be here with Austin, No Doubt Trout.
Hell yes, man. Hell yes. Now, Austin, it's been, I want to say, almost a decade since I've done an interview with you publicly. What have you been up to, brother? Well, first of all, congratulations is in order. I couldn't believe it when I saw you in the championship in your first bout, BKFC, with my brother Jeff Austin making the call as ring announcer.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, these guys have no idea what they're in for.
They thought they were going to get a name under their belt, and then I ended up taking over. I'm about to take over this game. Thank you. That was actually my second fight. My first fight was against Diego the Nightmare Sanchez. And, I stopped him with the fourth round, TKO. And thank you. The bare knuckle game I'm having a good time. I really enjoy it. It brings me back to a time where, my adrenaline was pumping. I was excited for the sport. I was excited to show what I could do. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how far I can take this. I mean, winning the belt's one thing, but beating the pound for pound champion to get the belt's another thing. And that's what I did. So I'm excited to put my name in the hat of pound for pound bare knuckle champions.
I tell you what, man. It's amazing. I'll never forget. You came to San Antonio and you had already tested your mettle in a very, very, not so fair environment in the Alamo Dome, San Antonio, Texas. And then several years later, you were our guest at one of our shows, TMB with Rick Morones Jr.
That's right.
And we invited you up in the center of the stage, and everyone was extremely appreciative. Nothing like the interaction you got when you were facing Canelo. But do you think that because of the way you conducted yourself, because of how competitive you were, and because of how humble you were, even in defeat, no excuses, even for the quicksand-like canvas, how spongy it was that night? We'll let you get your words off on that. But were you surprised that they had that much respect for you and so happy to see you when you came back to San Antonio?
Yes, because, the treatment that I got when I fought Canelo in San Antonio was terrible. Top to bottom, it actually made me not like San Antonio, just to tell you the truth. I still feel a certain way about your city, Joseph. San Antonio missing with that shit.
Hopefully that's excluding me, my friend.
Of course. It's, besides you, my buddy Rick Morones and a couple other homies. Shout out to San Antonio. Y'all did try to kind of sort of make it up by showing some love at the next fights. I ain't gonna talk too much bad about San Antonio, but they were not nice to me. So it was unexpected, but I was glad to have the warm welcome. I do think that the fight that I gave Canelo that night, it gave me respect because if you look, fast forward, not anybody has really been able to get, aside from Bivol and Floyd, but there's nobody that's been able to give him a fight like that since.
No,
Triple G.
You're absolutely right about that.
Maybe Triple G, Bivol, Floyd. It's a good list of names to be on that gave Canelo good fights. I'll take that.
Absolutely. And let's go back to that weekend. First of all, did you really even understand the concept of A side, B side before that event?
Okay, so like yeah, of course, but I never believed. I never believed in it, especially when I was in the B side. I just didn't believe it. Like because I've been in the B side my whole career, and I'm just doing things that the B side wasn't supposed to do. Even going back to like the Olympic trials, I remember everybody in the red corner, which I was in, was getting robbed, or they were just losing, and I was the only person in that red corner that would win. So like I never
Mhm.
believed in the B side, A side. Oh, but they taught me. They taught me about it. It was a good lesson then.
Oh boy.
And we
Like I
learned
had
that thing.
I had never experienced anything like that in my life. First of all, didn't they fly you over to San Antonio and coach, Golden Boy?
And you know, again, they did. They had me on Southwest flight,
That
which
is
I,
shocking.
I love Southwest. Don't get me wrong. It's just when you see that he's going off on a PJ, getting on the private jet with my team, and then we're going on Southwest. Not even A list too. You know what I mean? They had me C. So you know that was you just see the difference. Am I too good for Southwest? Absolutely not. I love Southwest. Great,
Of course.
great customer service. You know what I mean? They're usually not late, and if they are, they take care of it. But when you see the difference, buddy's on a
Hmm.
private jet going to Texas. I'm flying C class Southwest.
And
Yeah.
then to top things off, the day of the fight, you step in the ring. What were you thinking when you started sinking? Was
Um,
that not the spongiest canvas that you had ever experienced ever?
that it was memory foam is crazy. I never.
Yeah. It
I
was
mean,
like
it must have cost
therapeutic
a,
mattress.
just
Yeah.
to have that big ass memory foam that was 18 by 18. It must have cost a fortune. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that, right? They did everything they could to make sure that I wasn't on my bike. But after the first 4 rounds, and the open scoring said you're not winning on any round. Guess who got on that
Wow.
bike? It wasn't
Yeah.
me.
Yep.
I was walking Buddy down. He got on his bike. So the end of not end up I didn't end up using the memory foam. The memory foam wasn't for me because
Hmm.
I couldn't be on my bike no more. They didn't appreciate it when I did it.
Well, I will say this. If you had to give any advice, and once again, in defeat, your first professional loss, you were very, very humble and you were very sportsmanlike. And you said, no excuses. He fought his fight. It just was my night. And yeah, I think everyone really appreciated your humility and your professionalism post fight because they surely didn't deserve that much.
No, and I should have spoken up how I really felt, but the biggest thing that I asked, of God was whatever you decide, because it's all in God's hand. Whatever God decides, allow me to accept it with the same zeal that I would accept what I want to happen. And so that was the best way that I could have done that. Instead of saying, man, that ring, the judging, the open scoring, like that, just to start complaining. I hate when people do that. So, there's no point in me doing it. No one wants to hear that shit anyway. As valid as it may be, don't nobody want to hear that.
Yeah. I tell you what, it spoke volumes of your character, my friend. And I thought you represented yourself as well as the sport very, very well. And we were all very proud of you, my friend. Woo!
Thank you, right?
But I tell you what, you got there by going once again to a hostile environment, Puerto Rican Day Parade, weekend parade, and you fought Miguel Cotto, who I think was that his first or second fight at 54.
It was the second fight at 54.
Yep.
First loss.
And when you got that assignment, they viewed you as, well, the lesser regarded WBA champion, lesser regarded title holder at junior middleweight. What were you thinking when you got that call?
Again, it's like I never believed what most believe. So when they gave me that call, I knew they messed up. Like, oh, to be honest, that I got the call because the fight that I just fought It was against Devin Rodriguez, and it wasn't a good show.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I won the fight, you know, fairly coasted, but it was just not a good show, and it was, you know, just an off night. And I knew that that's what they were looking at to try to get a belt off of a, you know, what they thought was an easy win. And the good thing about me back then is I didn't have much of my fights, online, because a lot of my fights were abroad. You know what I'm saying? So most people didn't get to see those hard fights that I had in Panama or in Canada or in Mexico. So he was just going off of that fight, and that was a mistake.
Yep, I'll say. Yeah. But yeah, so you virtually, no pun intended, had no doubt that you were going to, overturn the apple cart and pull off the upset in the Big Apple.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I remember immediately following that event, I said, "You knew this, didn't you, man?"
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it was going to be.
Brilliant showing, and that was your introduction, or everyone's introduction, to Austin, no doubt, Trout. And yeah, a star was born that evening. I absolutely loved it. And James, first of all, before we move forward, do you have anything that you would like to ask our esteemed guest?
I mean, you kind of like went at it there with the Miguel Cotto fight, because, you know, like you said there, Austin, like not very many people had kind of like scouted you or scouted like a number of your previous fights going into that. So it was almost like you were there as a relative unknown there in comparison to Cotto, that had, you know, a lot of notable fights up to that point there. So, you know, that kind of like shocked people when you were able to, you know, pull off that win there. So that was, of course, a great performance by you in that. But, you know, you definitely faced the who's who of fighters there. One of the top resumes there at 154 pounds. So you like anybody that you could name out there in the 154-pound division, you basically fought, you know.
Do you have any regrets? Is there anyone that you wanted to face but you never got to?
Yeah, Liam Smith, the Australian, Anthony Mundine. And it really is because the fights at the time, like with Liam Smith, I should have fought him for the WBO title, but you know they kind of screwed me on that whole rankings. We got lawsuits; it's getting handled soon. And the reason why I just regret it, because I would have beat him and taken that belt, been a 2-time world champion. The trajectory of my career would have been much different. But since WBO did jerk me out of that, they're gonna make it better. Let's see, another one is, sheesh. No, I did fight Gaucher, but I wanted to fight Gaucher a lot earlier than I did, you know. Especially like right after I fought Charles, like, let me get Gaucher. I just got to fight. I'm no ring brush. Let me go at it. They waited, you know, damn near a year after my last fight to give me Gaucher. And really, a rematch with him would be very interesting to me because I'd stretch, buddy. Run that back. Just regrets of fights that I took and shouldn't have. I shouldn't have took Lara right after, you know, the Canelo loss. I should have waited and got my mind right. Like, I lost my grandmother. You know, I lost my first fight. It was like a rough year, and I was still trying to just get the baddest motherfucker in the game. So I should have waited for that Lara fight. I think that would have changed the trajectory of my career as well.
I wholeheartedly agree. That was quite possibly the worst style matchup you could have chosen for yourself, or whomever did that to you. But I was a bit surprised when Gennady Golovkin, when he was the marauder at middleweight, he was calling out everyone and no one wanted to take that fight. I thought, you know, this is Austin's chance. He should accept this assignment, call out Triple G and get that, and he will be right back in the thick of things. Because there's no doubt in my mind you would have made a very good showing for yourself, if not win that fight. And what were you thinking when you saw someone finally step up like Danny Jacobs and, well, show everyone that this is a guy who can be beaten? he's not an unbeatable machine like everyone thinks. Were you thinking that when you saw Danny Jacobs? That should have been me.
Oh yeah, you know, I've reached out, or my team reached out to put our name in the hat, but honestly, I've never had a fight at middleweight, so you know, Golovkin would feel like it was a lose-lose situation for him because if he beats me, it's like, oh yeah, well he's just picking on the little guy, and if he got beat, which I think he could have got beat, he's like, damn, he got beat by the little guy. So they did not pick me, and it didn't make sense. It was a risk-reward type of deal.
Understood. So your team did actually reach out. That's enough for me. That's all I needed to know. But does that in fact I think I called you and said, you know what? You should go after that. That is a tailor-made fight. Instead,
no, exactly. You called me. I was like, hey, I just called the team. I was like, hey, man.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh man. And so who gets that assignment? Vanya Martirosyan. Oh, poor Vanyas. Jeez, Vanyas is a great guy.
Remember the business that happened with that? Vanyas just signed to Don King. And
that's right.
Vanyas was like putting on social media like, I'm a free agent. Start the bidding war. No one And so then Don King had him and just sat him on the shelf for like 2 years. And then threw him into a fight with with Triple G. And I think Vanyas actually hurt Triple G in that fight. At one time, he caught him with a right hand. And it seemed like he woke him up a little bit. So imagine what a full cap would be.
Weren't you in the same Olympic class as Vanyas?
Yes, I was Olympic.
That's right.
Vanyas was the Olympian.
That's right. That's right.
He beat me in the box office, which is very controversial in my opinion.
Yeah.
I can tell you the difference between both Charlos. Big Charlo, Little Charlo was better. He had more, what's the word? He was more explosive. Big Charlo was very, in my opinion, I thought I beat him too, but I'm very biased. I thought I beat Big Charlo. And my relationship with Al Haymon is great. I still want to thank Al Haymon for all he's done. We don't work together, on fights or anything like that, but I'm very grateful for all he did. He gave me a chance to put me in a position that boxing was trying very hard to keep me out of.
Indeed. I will second that. And, I thought it was great that he actually put you behind the booth and doing commentary. I'm still waiting to see you back on Amazon Prime or somewhere else because you did a great job, man.
Me too. Shout out to PBC. But, call me. I'm down to get the commentary.
Look, nothing against Abner Mottes.
Some help.
That's it. Nothing against Abner. I love Abner. He's a great guy, but come on now.
Get in there. and Heido, I would love to fight Mike Perry or Lorenzo Hunt. Mike Perry, he's more of a, closer to my weight class. I'd have to put on some weight there at 185. But honestly, just watching this last fight, I think I'll piece Mike Perry up. Like, he thinks he's just going to keep running into shots till he lands a shot, but he will never land a shot. He'll never land a shot. And I'll just cut him up until the ref says, "Nah, that's too much blood on me." Or until he gets, something broken. So I would love to fight Perry. But, first things first, I have to rematch this bum, Palomino, who cried his way to a rematch. And I'm like, bro, you wasn't close. Like, there's nothing you're going to do that you can do to make this fight different. There's nothing he can do. I heard he's bulking up, which means he's got to lose the weight to get to 165. I heard he's trying to, I don't know what he thinks he's trying to get away from the left hand. But it was my right hand I was catching it. He couldn't get away from the jab. You know what I'm saying? You got to work. You got to stop the jab to be able to stop my left hand. Anyway, yeah.
You've always.
I want to fight the Juggernaut because after I beat the pound for pound champ, David Feldman does a post press conference, and he announces to everybody, now that the pound for pound Luis Palomino just got defeated, Lorenzo Hunt's now the pound for pound. I'm just sitting thinking like, didn't I get rid of him? Shouldn't I? Okay, that's fine. Lorenzo Hunt's got, I think 8 fights. He just got knocked out though, so That gives me more, I think, more claim to it. But nonetheless, I would like to fight Lorenzo Hunt, but he got to come down. He's too big. He's too big. But the way I'm
Well,
feeling, I'll beat them all up.
indeed. I tell you what, that showing was impressive. It looks like you could do this until you're 60, Austin. Is that how it feels?
That's how I feel. I know it's not reality, but every day I take it day by day. I see if the passion's there and the ability's there, and those two things seem to be intact. I still love it, and I'm still good at it. Um, I do take this test sometimes twice a year, but every year for sure. And they just started back up. It's at the Cleveland Brain Clinic, and it's this research about CTE, combat fighters, and non-combat fighters. I've been doing it for about 7 years, right? I did it for 5, they stopped, and then for 5 years, and then they brought us back. We do it 2 more times. Those tests are all, some of them going up, most of them just staying straight across, not getting worse, not getting better. But the important part of it is when they compare my tests to other fighters and other non-fighters, I'm still up there on the top, of just regular people that don't get punched. And that's speech, memory, balance, all those kinds of things. So as long as those tests say that I'm doing good, yeah, all right, I'll just keep going. As long as I love it, as long as I want to.
Well, I tell you what, we want to thank Sly Tendencies for joining us. First super chat of the night. Says Mike Perry's a punching bag. Trout by stoppage.
No
Indeed.
doubt. You see,
Indeed.
I'll cut them up. A death by 1,000 cuts. And I'll find out Fred Angulo. And I'll hurry up and do it before he learns how to bare knuckle. But that tough MF, I don't know if you saw his last fight, dog. Buddy grabbed his hair.
My advice, and you're the smart one. You trimmed all your hair off. There's nothing to grab.
There's nothing to grab.
Angulo, he needs to get a haircut, because what is the purpose of having a referee if he's just going to stand there and watch that?
I don't know. I was so happy to see Angulo drop that joker that would not stop pulling his hair. You know what I mean? That was crazy. And Angulo, he's the type of boxer that I think is perfect for this bare knuckle. He's got a good chin. He's got a good hand. He's got a good punch.
Yep.
And he's obviously not afraid to get in there and do it.
No. In fact, he's an old school guy. Subscribes to the ideology of take 5 to get 1. Gee.
One hell of a one. It's one hell of a one, but I'm more of I'll give 5 and never take 1. That's my ideology.
It seems to be working for you, my friend. But let's go to the very top, because it looks like you jumped on us and you started answering questions on your own. But like to say hello to no, it's all right, brother. Hey, it's your show, my friend. So I'd like to say hello to my dear friend, G Funky Boxing. Guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to G Funky Boxing. Once again, he just put on a great show with Uppercut Promotions at the Gold Country Casino. Guys, next time he has one, which I think is going to be July 26th, go out and check it out if you're in Northern California. And also want to thank Smoke Session for supporting the champ here tonight. Yes, that's no doubt. Salute, champ. And also our brother Matthew, most valid opinion, self-proclaimed, Mr. AKA Andre the Giant. And he says, salute Joe and JR. Salute Austin Trout. Bare knuckle legend after 2 fights. So very quickly, Austin, before we move forward, there's a big difference in bare knuckle fighting where you have to hit that guy clean or else you may damage your hands, right?
Yes. That I learned the hard way from my first fight. My first fight with Diego, and Diego's a tough sucker. He took a lot of damage, man. And when I first landed the first shot, I just got so excited, and I just started sitting on every shot, trying to, get him out of there. And I remember Lorenzo Hunt, he's the one that told me in the locker room beforehand, he's like, look, don't sit on every shot, just arm punch. And in boxing, we're taught to sit down on every shot you can, right?
Yep.
So that has been a big transition for me, is learning how to just arm punch until you can when it's time to sit down on it, it's because you know exactly where you're going to hit him. He's not about to move anywhere, something like that. So with Diego, I was sitting on everything. My hand was swollen. They didn't say it was broken. I'm sure there's hairlines everywhere, but luckily there's no displaced bones. Hands were, hurt for about 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, one, I need to condition these knuckles, start hitting them on some things hard and get them better, stronger. And two, I need to start learning how to arm punch, because the shot that I dropped Diego with and the shot that I dropped Luis Palomino with, they weren't even hard shots. They were just arm punches in the right place. So that made me realize it's not about how hard you hit them, especially with this bare knuckle. You just got to hit them right. Hit them in the right place at the right time. They're going to go down. They got no choice. That's a cool thing about this bare knuckle thing. Is like when you hit them in the right place, they're going down. I don't care who you are. They're going down. You know what I mean? If you hit them in the wrong place, you're most likely going to hurt your hand if you're sitting on your shots. So you might as well just arm punch it, because if you hit them wrong, you just cut them up until you hit them right and drop them down.
Tell you what, do you smell that, James?
Yep.
That would be a great article as soon as you announce your next fight. Yes.
Yeah.
Because most people don't know that. That is really insightful, man. Everyone should. And once again, appreciate both. Because I tell you what, that crowd at BKFC.
Yeah.
Where do they find those folks, man?
It's a good mix of, MMA
God bless them, though, brother.
and boxing fans. They go ham. A crowd is just as rowdy. And I was very surprised about this, but the energy was just crazy. The Team Combat League crowd.
Wow.
It's uproar. It's crazy. The energy in that place was nuts. You know what I mean? For both of our fights. We only fought twice. But the energy was crazy. The first night was really, it was so memorable. We got in trouble with the commission because we were just so crunk. But the fight was so good. You know what I mean? We were down by 2. We got a drop, which puts us even. Then we get dropped, which means we're down by 2 again. Then we lost. We're down by 3. We kind of need a stoppage, and then we get the stoppage. It was awesome. It was awesome.
And what is it like to be part of a team again? Because you haven't felt that way in a very long time.
It's true. I haven't felt that way in a very long time, but I do miss the camaraderie. Like, these guys are already my brothers and sisters, because we were already in the gym, sweating together, bleeding together, taking our dieting together, having to make weight together, even though it was our own respective fights. We still kind of, we're supporting, like, hey, man, when you go in, you got 6 weeks? Bad. I got 7. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to push each other. Hey, man, you only got 5 weeks left. Go ahead, get your ass up. Come on, let's go. But now that we have joint projects, we all got a mission. Like, for instance, our next fight's on the 9th, right? May 9th is the next project. And the Las Vegas Hustle is our next opponent.
The Las Vegas Hustle.
Woo! Yeah. So we all got the same contract. We all got the same goal. And we're gonna help each other get to that goal. The only thing I don't like, and this is not even my beef, because I'm not fighting, I'm just coaching, okay? Is I'll have some guys do great. They'll stop their guy, they'll do their job, and then they still lose the fight. That's the only thing that kind of sucks about any team sport. Kobe could drop 55 and still lose the game.
Yeah, it kind of takes you back to the amateurs, where don't get very much time to prepare for an individual, right?
No, not really, not much. And in the way that we have to pull fighters and switch fighters, and fighters are not the most stable employees. And I don't mean that by them being janky or shaky or untrustworthy, but your job puts you in such danger that you're going to catch some suspensions or a cut or injury, or you can't make weight, or and again, this is not any shade to any fighter. I haven't had this problem. This is just because I dealt with fighters. A breakup. You get a fighter that has a bad breakup.
Oh yeah,
You can't
throwing his
expect them
mind
to fight. Their mind's gone. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't want them to fight. Your mind's gone. You know. So there's all kinds of factors dealing with our fighters, but we got a good squad, really good fighters. You know, we took a loss against Orlando last week, but it wasn't because they were better than us. It's just because we're getting our shit together. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, and so what is the official name of the Houston squad that you belong to?
Houston Hitman, baby. We got the best.
There
name
it is.
in the league.
There
Houston
it is.
Hitman. We got to hit out on these Las Vegas hustlers. Come on the night. We got a contract. We're gonna get that.
Do you know if it's just local television? Is anyone broadcasting this yet nationwide?
Yes, you got to go to the BKFC. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the other one. The Team
That's a good
Combat
plug,
League. TeamCombatLeague.tv. If you go to my Instagram, the link is in the bio. You could catch the streams or buy tickets to live fights. We're all over the nation. You know, New York, Philly, Orlando, Miami, LA, Vegas. Boston is a new team.
Yeah, Boston got one. DC got one.
DC, yep, Dallas, and we're gonna beat them all. You know what I mean? We're gonna win them all. We're about to be the champions. 2024.
So I tell you what, we know we're running out of time with you, Austin, but what is it like being a coach on the other side, outside of the ring this time? Is it driving you nuts that you're like, oh?
Yes, it is. It's frustrating for many reasons that are not the fighter's fault. The frustration is all because of me, and I want to do it for everybody. But everybody, like all my fighters, they're really good fighters. They all have their own style and everything that they're good at. I say the biggest problem I have with this coaching is that, for instance, Jenny Fuchs, Olympian, undefeated. She don't do nothing wrong. And it's hard for me to find something that she does wrong. In fact, she's undefeated in her 4 bouts that she's had, right? 4 rounds, she's dominated every one of them. So me going to Jenny and being like, can you keep the hand up? If you think so. I mean, I don't know. I just say you should. She's throwing
Something
a hook.
tells me.
She's throwing a hook. The hand is a little low. Maybe do what you want. Never mind.
So you're choosing to take the Joe Goosen approach. At least the approach he had for Ryan Garcia in his 1 fight with him, or his 2 fights with him.
Yeah.
Chihuahua.
Yeah. But no. Yeah, and Jenny's not saying that she. If I went up to her and be like, "Hey, keep the hand up," she'd be like, "Yeah, coach, got you." She has a great attitude. You know what I mean? I just think so highly of her. You know, I'm like, who am I to tell Jenny Fuchs to keep her hand up? She probably got it down for a reason. She's baiting her. She's let her do what she does. But at the same time, I know my boxing too. I do. Right? I'm very good at this game. Just for nothing. I just had to put it out there before we get up. Major shout out to my coach, the Houston Hitman head coach, Bobby Benton. Boxing genius.
Probably the most underrated head trainer in the entire world. So I'm going to ask you this, put you in the hot seat, Austin Trout. Why on earth did Regis Prograis not roll with Bobby Benton as his chief second and prepare him for Devin Haney?
And you saw what happened? Yes. That was Bobby would have never allowed that to happen. And Bobby's so loyal, he's going to let you do what you feel like is best. He's going to tell you what he thinks and feels, but he's not going to sit there and argue with anybody on the decision they need to make for their life. And I respect that. In fact, he allowed me to make my mistakes in my career. Like the Lara fight. He didn't like the Lara fight. He didn't want the Lara fight. I'm like, well, we're going to fight Lara. This is what's going to be done. All right, that's what you want, champ. I should have listened to him, right? I should have listened to him. I have no idea why Regis did that. Regis, and especially after watching Devin Haney shit the bed against Ryan Garcia. Now we know Ryan Garcia was cheating, and he got he's caught with the pads. He was 3 pounds overweight. Okay, yes, but nonetheless, what's that got to do with Devin Haney not jabbing anymore?
Indeed,
not keeping up that right hand.
Yes.
Knowing Brian Garcia
Yes.
only got a left hook. What does that got to do with any of that, right? The little
Nothing.
basic, little stupid, silly thing. And I know Regis seeing that was like, bro, I could have murdered Devin had I fought my fight. He shouldn't have gone at him. He should have just waited for Devin to come and then pieced him up. But no, that's neither here nor there. You know, I'm glad everything's come to light how it is. And Bobby, again, he don't get his flowers. I'm gonna give it to him. And here's the reason why. He knows so much about this boxing. Like, I come to camp, get camp started. He changes these little details that make such huge differences. And if you go back and watch our first fight, his first fight against San Antonio Snipers, Lazario Diaz, his first round, he got dropped, almost stopped. Didn't quite get stopped, but almost got stopped in that first round. I'm telling you, so then just a little backstory. We have launch rounds, middle rounds, and then the money rounds, okay? So everybody fights one round, basically. Maybe two. If we pick him for the money rounds, then you fight two. Well, I picked Laz for the money rounds. So he fought in the launch rounds, got whooped. And I had him pick for the money rounds, which I was immediately regretting because I'm like, dang. That dude just beat him up. Like, oh, man, what are we going to do? So I'm like, hey, don't go at him. In fact, just run. Just stay on your feet. Try not to get dropped. You know, that's what I'm thinking. Bobby's like, hold on, I'm going to go work with him. So you took him to the side, showed, little thing, like keep your hands high and tight. As soon as you feel catch off, come back with three, step on,
catch and go.
And that worked like a charm. He ended up whooping Buddy the next round. He was a hero because we needed that win. You know, we were down by 2. He won. The next dude, Isaac, won. And then we sealed it with Nagy dropping his guy. Took us over. So that Bobby knows boxing, like in little things that you see that you didn't think would make a difference, make the biggest difference. Pull that foot half an inch apart. Like, what? And it works.
The brilliance of Bobby Benton.
My balance is great. My hands is flowing. I got speed, power just from stepping half an inch closer. You know, it's weird.
It's amazing what a very, very insightful set of eyes outside of the ring does for you.
Absolutely.
Yep. And it makes all the difference. That extra set of eyes that you trust makes all the difference. Very quickly before we let
coach. He was literally bred to be a coach. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, James.
No, I was saying very quickly, brother, before we let you go, my friend, if you had to give Jaime Munguia a piece of advice, you were here exactly where he is, his first trip to the big dance. What would you tell Jaime Munguia at this time?
His best bet is to try to attack the body. Touch the body. Canelo's pretty much, his chin's good. You know, he's a strong puncher, but his body's the place that is his Achilles heel. And nobody goes to his body. Nobody tries it. Triple G, he could have won that first fight easier if he went to the body. The second fight, he didn't go to the body even less. Like, what an idiot. And so, yeah, man, I'd say just go to the body. That's where make the body part of your main attack. You know what I mean? Break that down, or he's going to break you down.
And there it is. Yeah. There it is. Austin, No Doubt Trout. James, do you have anything before we wish No Doubt Trout a very good evening?
No, we, got a lot of content here from No Doubt Trout. Definitely looking forward to his next venture, whether it's through a BKFC or through a Team Combat League. Like you said, he's there with the team in Houston. So they got this stuff coming up here, a week from now, May 9th. So, yeah, folks, be sure to tune in to that there on Team Combat League. But very thankful for Austin, No Doubt Trout, to be part of this here on War Week Boxing.
As far as I'm concerned, James, Austin is family. I'll tell you what, I will never forget when I introduced my beautiful mama to Austin that one night. And that is right now, it's my Facebook page. profile
that's
is you
sweet.
and my beloved mama. Thank you, brother. I will never forget that. But I didn't get to show him my Floyd impression, so here we go.
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for fact or fiction.
Yo,
So-
you good, man. You good. Free Floyd. Tell him to pay his debt. You know what I mean? Pay him that or tell the mole to bring back the jewelry. I don't know what the story is.
No,
It's
you
crazy.
got it exactly right. We confirmed, because of people knowledgeable of the situation, that they will not let him out of the country until he pays, I think, over a $2 million debt that he's racked up in jewelry alone.
Yeesh.
They take their debt seriously over there. So
Oh, I know. When I went to Dubai, I was telling them that it's so peaceful. Nobody's gonna mess with your stuff. No one's stealing anything. Nobody, you know, they take a lot of those things serious, and it's very peaceful. It's very put together. But that's because there's not too many human rights. Like you don't have.
that's it.
Too
Things
much.
that we take for granted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
here,
don't know. America may have too many rights. Like some of these assholes are too free to do too much.
oh, don't say that, Austin. But yes, I agree with you. But that's off the record. That's off the show. So James, number one for our esteemed guest.
Hey, listen, Joseph Austin.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you this. I'm gonna work things out. I'm gonna get the $2 million, and then I'm gonna get out of there, and I'll be back in the States.
Well, do me a favor then, Floyd, please. Go back to having the same head look like Austin Trout.
Yeah, go back. We're not believing the fake BBL.
What is up with that, man?
Look. I just wanted to give the people a new look of me.
Oh, stop it.
That's crazy.
So here's
lying
number
too.
one, James.
All right, here we go. Number one. Tim Tszyu versus Virgil Ortiz Jr. on August 3rd will steal the show in LA and prove to be a Fight of the Year candidate. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. There's too many good fights on there to think that that's going to be the one. I think Tim Tszyu might nominate Virgil. This is Virgil's first fight or second fight at 54. The first fight against the real 154.
Yeah, you could say that. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. No, there's too many good fights on that August 3rd card to say that fight is still a show. I don't think so.
All right, moving on to number two, James, please.
All right, here we go. Number two, Canelo Alvarez will end his KO drought and stop a very tough and competitive Jaime Munguia in the mid to late rounds. Fact or fiction?
I think that's fact.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think he's you weren't impressed with Jaime Munguia's ascension to this moment?
No, never. I wanted to fight Jaime Munguia. Like, no.
Yeah.
I've never been impressed with Jaime. I've been impressed with how tough he is. He's durable. And he does come to fight. You know, all those guys that he was knocking out at middleweight weren't middleweights for real. And then later on, he did get some real middleweights. But I don't know. I'm not sold on Jaime Munguia.
And there it
the fact
is.
that Oscar De La Hoya's biggest promotion about is this beef with him and Canelo. Let's talk about Jaime. You ain't got much to talk about.
Oh boy. So what did you think of that press conference yesterday? Did you see that?
I'm glad Canelo gave it to De La Hoya. I'm not a fan of De La Hoya. Although I do think that he should be mentioned in the pound for pound talks. We don't talk about De La Hoya enough. He was like the perfect boxer in his prime. But other than that, I can't stand his ass, man.
Yeah. So you don't like Goldie Fishnets? Unbelievable.
No, that's not my style.
So number three, Big James.
All right, here we go. Izzy Israel Madrimov will shock the world on August 3rd and hand pound for pound king Terrence Bud Crawford his first professional loss, flooring him several times in the process. Fact or fiction?
Fucking fiction. Excuse my language. Come on, man.
All right, well then he's
It's
number
fiction.
5.
Hey, because I watched Magnemov almost get beat by my guy Trouble, Ralph Bulkway. Ralph only had a 3-week notice, you know what I mean? And he still almost lost. I told my brother, let me get that fight. He's number one. That's number one. And of course, I never got that fight. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford's going to beat the brakes out of Buddy. He did have good feet. Magnumov had good feet, but he wasn't strong enough and he wasn't fast enough to mess with Terrence.
And there it is. There it is. Number 5, brother. And we've got only one more after this.
All right, here we go. Devin Haney will sit out the rest of the year to heal from the extensive damage he received from Ryan Garcia. Fact or fiction?
That's fact. He should. I hope he does. I hope he don't come back because we already know. Shout out to Adam Lopez. Las Cruces, what up? Yeah. I hope he does because you saw he was concussed. He was hurt. He wasn't right. Him trying to jump on the ropes after the fight, that was the sure sign that he needs to heal. Take it off.
Yeah.
You make good money. Go relax. Don't get too fat.
And there it is. There it is. Don't pull a Zurdo Ramirez in between fights, please. Yeah, don't. Number 6 for a last fact or fiction for you, Austin.
All right, here we go. Trainer Andre Rozier is absolutely correct when he states that David Benavidez will not defeat 175-pound unified champ Artur Beterbiev. Fact or fiction?
And I love the Mexican monster, Paul, no Diddy, but yeah, I think Andre's right. That Beterbiev is a monster at 175. Yeah, that's fact. I think that's fact.
So does Bivol beat Artur Beterbiev on June 1st?
I do think Bivol beats Beterbiev on June 1st. I do. Because the styles make fights. He's going to be in and out. He'll never sit down enough for Artur to find him.
Well, that's it. Congratulations, Austin. You just survived the latest edition of Fact or Fiction. Congratulations, sir. And look, lo and behold, 50 minutes have almost gone by, and it's seemingly it feels like we're just getting started, friend.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the baby's put to sleep, so I ain't got to do it. You know what I mean?
So how is your lovely bride, my friend? How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. She's been really she's been the only reason why the Houston Hitmen have been so successful. And as far as the bureaucracy goes and all the paperwork, and I mean, we got 24 fighters, and we have to get them all medically cleared for about 5 different states. Some of them had suspensions we had to go find and lift and figure out, man, like, and her organization skills have been very key for all this. So shout out to Taylor Trout. She's been making the Houston Hitmen. She's the team mom, and she's been getting on everybody's ass. So it's good that she don't just boss me around. She bossing these big ass grown men around too.
Well, that's what happens when you marry a Mexicana, brother. Right
you
on.
ain't lying, bro. Yeah. You know what? I like that crazy though. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, dude, who doesn't love that kind of crazy? Oh boy. Tell you what, shout out to her, and you know what? God bless you both. You guys are an awesome couple. Yeah, but any parting shots for our listening audience, sir?
May 9th, tune in, teamcombatleague.tv. Go to my bio, go to the link in my bio on Instagram, and you can sign up to watch the streams, get tickets for live fights. We're all over the country. Check the schedule. Also, I'll be returning to the BKFC to defend my title. I'm hearing it's going to be August now. Whatever, whenever, it's fine. I'll whoop them. I'll whoop them. Whoever, whenever, wherever, all that good stuff. I'm going to whoop them. They're not going to get rid of me in this bare knuckle game, so get used to me.
Legend, bare knuckle legend already. Now, James, in your best Floyd voice, let us know where to find you. James?
Oh, now listen. My thing is this. All you got to do is go on the website, theboxingsource.net. And, you know, we also have social media pages. You just look up The Boxing Source, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm all there. That's all you need to do.
And there it is. Big James, thank you so much, brother. And so, guys, that's just about it. James, do you have any party shots for anybody? Anything happening there in Vegas that you'd like to report before we say good night to everybody?
Well, a couple things is, we had all the stuff for the undercard action. So we're trying to get the content up from the undercard press conference and highlights from that. But, there's a little bit of things going on with YouTube there. But we're looking forward to the weigh-in tomorrow. And there's going to be a lot of action going on Saturday before the fights take place. So tune into that as well.
So, guys, for all the latest coverage, please tune in to the boxingsource.net and go subscribe to the Boxing Source on YouTube. Tell you what, James, and we know that you're going to report the real weigh-in and not wait for the ceremony now, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. So, guys, on behalf of James from the Boxing Source, our brother J.R. Bell, and the incomparable Austin, no doubt Trout, I'm Joseph Herron. Thank you for tuning into this very special edition of War a Week Boxing. Have a great night, everybody.
Proudly presents the skills that pay the bills. Austin, no doubt Trout.